Yuichi is determined to join his friends on an expensive school trip. Working hard at his part-time job to cover the 70,000 yen cost, Makoto suggests Yuichi's father could provide the money, but Shiho dismisses the idea as condescending. Tensions rise, but Tenji intervenes, and the group ultimately congratulates Yuichi for his efforts. The 2 million yen collected for the trip gets stolen, and suspicions arise, causing Shiho and Makoto to stop attending school. Rumors circulate about their involvement in the theft. Yuichi receives a letter from Shiho, calling for a meeting at the school gate at 11 p.m. Upon arrival, he discovers his friends are gathered there. Afterwards, Shiho reveals a letter she received, seemingly from Yuichi, prompting realization that they've been set up. Before they can unravel the mystery, Yuichi is suddenly knocked out with a taser. Yuichi dreams of conflicting advice from his parents about the importance of money versus friendships. Upon waking, Yuichi and his friends find themselves in a white room with a mascot named Manabu-kun. Manabu reveals they're part of a game where they can earn 2 million yen per round to repay their 20 million yen debt. The catch is that one of them owes the debt, and they must figure out who. Refusing to play means they'll remain trapped, with the debt increasing. He tells them that they have 5 minutes to decide. Shiho advocates for helping the debtor without accusing, emphasizing the seriousness of their situation. Despite doubts, Yuichi chooses to play, leading them to the first game. Manabu explains the rules and advises against doubting friends. In the Kokkuri-san game, each person must answer questions to reduce their 4 million yen debt. Unfortunately, suspicion grows as they repeatedly answer questions incorrectly. However, Yuichi becomes suspicious of a traitor, recalling Makoto's recent bruises from an attempted kiss with Shiho. His suspicions deepen when he discovers a loophole. If the coin moves to yes, the reader clears the game, but if it's no, the reader's debt halves. Yuichi grapples with the decision of whether to clear the game or have his debt. As the group faces the pivotal fifth question, Yuichi challenges their unity by asking about the color of Shiho's underwear, introducing an unexpected twist. In the second game, Badmouth Sugoroku, the group faces challenges as they reveal secrets about each other. Yuichi, aware of a potential traitor, strategically talks about doubling debts to keep everyone in line. As they progress, Yuichi's plan takes an unexpected turn when a change in rules puts the penalty on the one with the least debt. Although it's a bluff, the uncertainty leaves a lasting impact, and they manage to clear the first game. Later, Yuichi, determined to uncover the traitor, questions everyone's debt. Tenji insists they all owe 3.6 million yen, but Yuichi suspects otherwise. During a break before the second game, Yuichi checks their question cards and discovers disappearing ink, revealing a plot by Maria and Yukino. Shiho, sharing her suspicions, discloses her actual debt of 7.6 million yen. Yukino notes Yuichi's financial acumen but warns that friendship alone won't secure victory, revealing that Tenji overheard Yuichi and Shiho's conversation. The second game takes them to the school's roof, where Manabu-sensei explains that they'll be revealing secrets in a game called Badmouth Sugoroku. Each participant writes secrets or lies on cards, and the gods vote on the most unforgivable, determining how many spaces they move. The goal is to reach the end, but the first to do so suffers a significant loss. The group can end the game prematurely by turning in blank cards, avoiding a third game but incurring additional debt. The first round consists of blank cards, with each player moving one space. They encounter squares with financial penalties, realizing that stepping on all squares would result in 6 million yen in debt. The second round introduces penalties, and Manabu reveals that the collected debt will go to the first player to reach the goal. The third round exposes a non-blank card, stating Shiho's feelings for Yuichi and her past relationship with Tenji. The gods vote, advancing Shiho while the others move one space. Makoto is bewildered by Yuichi's calm demeanor, discovering Shiho's feelings. Tenji clarifies their past as childhood friends, intended for marriage until circumstances changed. Shiho and Tenji's fake dating was revealed, leading to Tenji's unrequited love for Shiho. Tensions rise, but Yuichi manages to calm everyone. Yutori encourages Shiho, predicting that Yuichi will eventually fall for her. In the fourth round, 3 non-blank cards are revealed. Makoto's past bathing habits, Yuichi's hygiene lapse, and Shiho's alleged plastic surgery become the focus. The gods vote Shiho as first, Yuichi as second, and Makoto as third. Makoto doubts the plastic surgery claim, and Shiho questions if he would still like her if it were true. In the fifth round of the Badmouth Sugoroku game, the revelation that Yutori engaged in compensated dating stuns the group. Makoto realizes that only Shiho knew this secret and questions her motives for revealing it. Tensions rise as Yutori becomes distressed, crying and seeking solace from Shiho. The divine votes rank Yutori first, causing her to advance 5 spaces, while the rest move only 1 space each. As the game progresses, Manabu provides updates on each participant's position. Shiho leads with 13 spaces, while Tenji trails with 5 spaces. The The goal is to reach the end, but the person reaching it will inherit everyone's debt, currently totaling 5.5 million yen. Yutori confides in Yuichi, revealing the difficult circumstances that led her to engage in compensated dating during junior high. Despite skepticism from the gods, Yutori maintains her innocence, emphasizing her need for money and the bullying she endured. Yuichi, displaying understanding and support, assures her that her past doesn't change his perception of her. The revelation sparks discussions among the group about the importance of virginity and the impact of judgment on individuals. While Yutori faces judgment, Yuichi's response and forgiveness leave a lasting impression. However, suspicions about a traitor persist, and the group reflects on past events, considering Makoto, Tenji, and even Shiho. Shiho reveals that she knew about Yutori's past but promised to keep it a secret. The group confronts the complexities of their friendships, acknowledging the challenges of maintaining trust. Tsukino and Maria contemplate the possibility of someone trying to destroy their friendships, possibly instigating the Tomodachi game. The distorted voice, expressing a desire for the friends to break even more, adds an additional layer of mystery. The narrative then shifts to a flashback where Shiho, unknowingly being watched by Tenji, locks the money in her locker before heading to the media room. Tenji, secretly observing Shiho's every move with a listening device, unveils his sinister plan to break her relationships and exploit her vulnerability. As they navigate the complex web of secrets and deceit, the tension escalates, leaving them to uncover the next twist in this compelling tale of friendship and betrayal. Tenji, suspecting Shiho, believes she's behind the rumors, excluding the two about Makoto and Yuichi bathing together. He thinks Shiho badmouthed Yutori to help her own cause. He considers himself responsible for damaging Yutori's feelings for Shiho and now wants to undermine Shiho's feelings for Yutori. Tenji speculates that Yutori might have fabricated the bad-mouthing to gain sympathy from Yuichi, whom she might have feelings for. During a writing session, Tenji decides against writing something harmful about others as it might draw suspicion. When he exits the room, he witnesses Yuichi slapping Shiho for suggesting Yutori orchestrated the bad-mouthing herself. The tension between Shiho and Yutori grows, with Shiho revealing her plastic surgery was to conceal a scar. The rift expands, and Tenji believes he's successfully strained Shiho and Yutori's friendship, as well as Shiho and Yuichi relationship. Manabu requests more bad mouths, and Yuichi asks Tenji to go first. Tenji, concerned about raising suspicion due to having the lowest points, decides to write something negative about himself. The group exchange bad mouths, and when Manabu reads them, Shiho accuses Yutori of spreading a rumor about Shiho wearing men's boxers. The second bad mouth reveals that Tenji lied about his age, exposing that he's a year older than the others due to dropping out of high school for a year. As they move spaces, Shiho steps on a space, allowing her to nominate someone for a special investigation. The gods will vote if the bad mouth is forgivable or not. Tenji worries about being exposed for stealing the money and applying for the Tomodachi game. Shiho chooses Makoto for the investigation, and his father's scandals are exposed. Shiho defends Makoto, but Tenji intervenes, urging her to stay away from him. The gods vote 99% unforgivable, isolating Makoto. In the next round, Makoto becomes the subject of another bad mouth, accusing him of killing someone. Tenji suspects Yuichi's involvement, realizing he might be setting up schemes in advance. Tenji, feeling robbed by Shiho, believes he has the right to take everything from her, even ready to crush Yuichi if necessary. Manabu questions Makoto about the accusation of murder, but Makoto denies it. Tenji thinks Yuichi is behind the bad mouth and wonders if he has a plan. Manabu asks Makoto to prove the accusation false, but Makoto is unsure. The gods voted 99% against Makoto, making him the leader. Yuichi, believing in Makoto's innocence, claims one of them is a traitor, blaming them for the bad mouths. Yuichi shares his realization about the game's unfairness, suggesting that everyone should write bad mouths only about themselves except the traitor. Tenji opposes the idea, wanting Yuichi to identify the traitor immediately. Yuichi declines, and they decide to write self-incriminating bad mouths to identify the traitor. In the 8th period, Yuichi thinks there should be only 4 bad mouths, but Manabu reveals 10, disappointing Yuichi. Tenji sees this opportunity, convincing Shiho to stay with him, believing he had won. As the game continues silently, Shiho is one space away from winning in the 19th period. Yuichi realizes something is off and suggests a way to expose the traitor. Tenji resists, but Yuichi explains that by writing bad mouths admitting they applied for Tomodachi game, only the traitor will be telling the truth and avoid penalties. Yuichi believes the traitor chose the game to ruin their friendship. Tenji questions the feasibility, but Yuichi assures him that the management knows who applied. The group writes the bad mouths, and Yuichi proposes that the only way to clear the game is to reach the goal at the same time as Shiho. Tenji is skeptical, but Yuichi emphasizes that true friends will continue to the 3rd game. During the box confession, Tenji contemplates lying but ultimately admits to applying for the game. Yuichi reveals that he orchestrated the plan to force the traitor to expose themselves. Tenji attempts to garner sympathy by crying, but Yuichi remains unfazed. Yuichi questions Tenji directly, and Tenji admits to applying for the game. Maria gets excited, wondering if Yuichi discovered Tenji was the traitor, and Tsukino identifies 3 abnormalities in the second game. Yuichi unveils that he planned to expose the traitor even before the second game began. After the third period, he and Shiho secretly joined forces. They communicated through cards, and Yuichi set a trap to test Shiho's loyalty. Tsukino identifies this as Yuichi's first trap. Maria is instructed to review footage from the fourth period, revealing that Yuichi took 2 cards and a pen into the voting booth but told Shiho he submitted a blank card. Tenji realizes that he unwittingly gave Shiho a card with instructions while tapping her on the shoulder. Yuichi explains that he initially didn't trust Shiho but tested her loyalty. He directed Shiho to use a secret about him, the fact that he once refrained from bathing for a week to write a bad mouth. This served as a marker to identify the traitor. To test Yutori, Yuichi instructed her to pretend to fight with Shiho and submit a secret about her during the 5th period. Yutori's submission cleared her, and the traitor's bad mouth about Tenji lying about his age was exposed. Tenji wonders how Yuichi communicated with Shiho while staying close to her, and Yuichi reveals that he did so when he slapped her. Yuichi describes the second trap, where he controlled the order of voting. By having Makoto volunteer and prove himself, Yuichi cleared him of suspicion. Tsukino labels this as Yuichi's third trap. Yuichi then asked everyone to give him proof of their friendship, and Tenji, being the last, handed over their nameplates. Yuichi believed that only the traitor would resist, proving his guilt. Tenji questions why he was left for last, and Yuichi explains that he became suspicious of Tenji's abnormal behavior. He recalls how Tenji, typically calm and smart, picked a fight with Makoto at the game's start. Yuichi suspected Tenji when he blamed Makoto for the bad mouth, a move inconsistent with Tennis' usual behavior. While the game appears to be over, Manabu reveals that Shiho is about to lose. Yuichi whispers something to Manabu, and after confirmation, the game continues. Yuichi had submitted a false bad mouth, and with the penalty, he reached the goal before Shiho. Manabu discloses Yuichi's lie and the penalty, and Yuichi clears the game alone. He suggests speaking with Tenji to decide whether to forgive him or not. Yuichi confesses to having committed horrible acts in the past, including killing someone. Tsukino is shocked, and Manabu declares that Yuichi is a murderer who killed 3 people. Yuichi expresses his intention to let loose his true self during the third game without the constraints of friendship. Yuichi's friends argue, with Makoto turning against him. Tenji intervenes, explaining that sometimes people have to do things they can't talk about. He stops Yuichi from jumping alone, admitting that he lied about the bad mouth regarding him dating Shiho. Tenji confesses that he wanted to destroy their friendship to keep Yuichi for himself, as he has feelings for him. Despite doubts from the others, Tenji proves his feelings by kissing Yuichi and jumping down with him. Tsukino speculates that Tenji must have another objective in this second Tomodachi game. In the hospital, young Yuichi counts his money, contemplating its importance. Yuka, emphasizing the value of friendship over money, prompts him to reconsider his priorities. Meanwhile, outside, Yuichi meets his new father, who challenges him on life's most important aspect, to which Yuichi asserts money. Yuichi and Tenji awaken in a cave, guided by Manabu to prepare for the upcoming third game with a 3-day stay. With limited resources, including just 1 bottle of water, Tenji discloses the reason for his betrayal, blaming Shiho for the loss of something precious. He recounts a past involving 2 close friends and a failed business venture, leading to their entry into the Tomodachi game. Revealing the current debt of 10.8 million yen, Tenji exposes lies from the previous games, creating a sense of distrust. Yuichi questions Tenji's motives for following him, learning about Tenji's desire for revenge linked to the Tomodachi game and Shiho's deception. As a gesture of trust, Tenji shares the true extent of his debt, accumulating penalties for revealing it. After a contemplative 60 hours, Yuichi seeks Tenji's perspective on friendship. Tenji, scarred by past betrayals, struggles to define the term. Despite Tenji confirming Makoto and Yutori as strangers, Yuichi urges him to apologize to them, forging a promise to clear the third game. Released into a forest after 3 days, Yuichi and Tenji encounter Sergeant Manabu. Simultaneously, Ryoko Tamai informs Tsukino of the impending third game against her group, exploiting the numerical advantage. The game, Friendly Hide and Seek, is unveiled, introducing competitive dynamics. Group C faces off against Group K, with the losing team facing elimination. As the rules are laid out, including the ability to switch teams and the consequences for traitors, tension heightens. A potential addition to Group C, Maria Mizu's, further complicates matters. Ryoko hints at an alternative path to victory through charisma, claiming to have a genius in her team. Juzu Katokura declares his intent to hide, posing a formidable challenge. With Tenji volunteering to be the hider in Maria's uncertain allegiance, the teams are given 2 hours to strategize and hide. In their quest to find a suitable hiding spot for Tenji, Yuichi, Tenji, and Maria reflect on the stringent rules outlined by Manabu. Violence is strictly forbidden, and neither the hider can be moved nor can they change their hiding spot once selected. Any violation results in an instant loss and a doubling of each member's debt. Manabu provides cell phones to all participants, allowing them to communicate with anyone in the game, be it ally or adversary. Yuichi informs Tenji that he will only contact him in emergencies, and Tenji, weakened by 3 days without food, experiences dizziness. Recalling Manabu's mention of food in the forest center, they decide to head there once the game begins. The hiders are given a give-up button, exclusively for the hiders' use, allowing them to concede and end the game for their team. Choosing a hiding place, Yuichi strategically places Maria far away and conceals Tenji in a small cave. Aware of their numerical disadvantage, Yuichi hints at the possibility of not playing fair to secure a win. Tenji, pledging not to give up, acknowledges Yuichi as his last hope for avenging his father. As the 2-hour hiding period concludes, Yuichi departs without revealing his plan to Tenji. Alone in the cave, Tenji endures 2 days without contact from Yuichi, questioning his motives and contemplating the possibility of betrayal. Doubts intensify as Yuichi fails to provide food, and Tenji fears being abandoned. Summoning the strength to resist, Tenji calls Yuichi, only to receive a response from a member of the opposing team. The informant claims that Yuichi plans to abandon Tenji, enjoying leisure with a girl while neglecting the search for others. Accusations of Tenji's betrayal in the second game are voiced, and Yuichi's alleged refusal to forgive him is asserted. The enemy advises Tenji to press the give-up button, threatening dire consequences otherwise. Despite the unsettling revelation, Tenji maintains trust in Yuichi, choosing to wait. Elsewhere, Hayakutaru and Kei discuss Tenji's condition, recognizing the near-impossible odds against them due to Juzu's strategic brilliance. Before the third game, Juzu unveils a strategy capitalizing on the vast forest. Recognizing the challenge of locating someone in such terrain, Juzu emphasizes the importance of delivering food to the hider. Group K, with superior numbers and athleticism, plans to overwhelm the smaller Group C. Ryoko expresses confidence in their unity, likening their bond to that of a sports team. On the third day of the game, Ryoko anticipates victory, outlining a plan to starve out Group C. Tsukino questions the effectiveness of their strategy, but Ryoko remains confident in their inevitable success. As Tenji, hungry and fatigued, nears desperation, he spots Yuichi approaching with food. Ryoko observes from a distance, perplexed by the lack of communication between Yuichi and Tenji. Suspecting Yuichi's unusual behavior, Ryoko contemplates Maria's role as an observer. Meanwhile, Yuichi makes a surprising move, expressing a desire to join Group K. Ryoko struggles to believe that Yuichi genuinely wants to switch sides, suspecting it might be a bluff. Tsukino, however, considers it a plausible move to achieve Yuichi's goals and questions whether Ryoko would agree to his switch. Ryoko, while initially open to the idea, expresses doubt about the sincerity of Yuichi's intentions. Yuichi, addressing Group K, claims he desires to switch teams to intensify Tenji's suffering for betraying them. According to the rules, a switch can only occur at the food station in the middle of the forest, requiring only one member of the receiving team to accept. Despite the initial agreement from most of Group K, Kei suggests consulting their captain before finalizing the decision. Yuichi, instead of waiting, mocks their need for approval, ridiculing their captain. His taunts provoke anger from Hayakutaru, who nearly resorts to violence before being restrained by his friends. Kei contacts their captain, and Yuichi's laughter echoes as he derides their decision-making process. Ryoko is surprised by the captain's refusal to allow Yuichi to switch sides. Tsukino, however, sees it as the correct decision, believing in Juzu's strategy. Juzu asserts his faith in the plan and instructs his team to trust him despite Yuichi's persistence. Considering potential tricks, Juzu suggests making Maria switch teams if Yuichi insists, preventing any manipulation of information. Maria recalls Yuichi's plan, devised 2 days before. He intended to engage in small talk for the initial days, occasionally provoking the other team while secretly searching for something crucial. Maria swore her absolute obedience to Yuichi after he explained the plan, revealing his underlying strategy. As the morning of the fourth day arrives, Kei and Banri set out to deliver food to their captain. Chisato monitors Maria while Hayakutaru remains with Yuichi. During their conversation, Yuichi questions Hayakutaru about his involvement in basketball and compliments Group K's abilities. He subtly probes about the financial struggles within the team, sowing seeds of doubt. Chisato replaces Hayakutaru in monitoring Maria, while Yuichi continues his conversation with Hayakutaru. As Yuichi hints at an unexpected discovery, Chisato returns to Maria's location. Yuichi calls out that he found what he was looking for, prompting a chase. He then stages an elaborate ruse, pushing Maria off a cliff while suggesting he found something else. Tenji, nearing his limit, contemplates pressing the give-up button but decides against it, choosing to trust Yuichi. As he prepares to face the consequences, he unexpectedly feels water on his lips and opens his eyes to find Yuichi offering sustenance. While eating and drinking, Yuichi reveals his strategy and how he used Maria to distract the pursuers. Meanwhile, Hayakutaru manages to save Maria from the fall, and Chisato berates him for not prioritizing her safety. Maria, a bit shaken, realizes the extent of Yuichi's plan. Yuichi returns to Tenji, explaining the details of his observations and manipulations within Group K. He unveils the traps he set in motion and reveals the first trap, designed to fracture the relationships within Group K, is already underway. As Hayakutaru and Chisato argue, Hayakutaru decides to join Group C. In the aftermath of the game's latest twist, Tenji reflects on Yuichi's cunning strategy to sow discord within Group K upon learning that the third member is a girl. Yuichi decides to employ her as a honey trap to disrupt the unity of the opposing team. Tensions escalate when Maria expresses gratitude to Chisato for saving her life, and an accidental intrusion by Hayakutaru adds fuel to the fire. Despite initial anger, Maria reveals that she fabricated the incident, diffusing the tension. The trio decides to return to the food station, but Maria experiences leg pain. Hayakutaru offers to carry her, and she regrets ending up in Group C. Back at the food station, Hayakutaru and Chisato recount the events to Kei and Banri. Kei realizes that if Yuichi obtained food, the game could be prolonged. Yuichi returns, asserting authority over Maria. Hayakutaru protests, but Maria stops him, aware that Yuichi is manipulating the situation. Yuichi resorts to violence, pulling Maria's hair, and Kei acknowledges the act as violence. Hayakutaru suggests Maria join their team, but Chisato suspects manipulation and urges caution. Kei intervenes, emphasizing that their captain should decide Maria's fate. Yuichi criticizes them for their inability to make decisions and further provokes Hayakutaru. Yuichi contemplates the strained relationship between Chisato and Hayakutaru, anticipating the plan to escalate tensions. He envisions influencing Hayakutaru to switch sides, believing it will lead to victory. Several hours later, Kei and Hayakutaru return, with Hayakutaru revealing that Juzu did not allow Maria to switch sides. However, Juzu offers an alternative method to protect Maria. Chisato senses something amiss, expressing concern about potential deception. Hayakutaru, despite reservations, approaches Manabu, expressing a desire to switch to Group C. Yuichi approves, and Hayakutaru attempts to attack him but is restrained. Yuichi contacts Tenji, revealing that he now has a member from Group K in their team and aims to extract information about Juzu's location. Hayakutaru apologizes to Maria for being unable to protect her. Yuichi, eavesdropping on their conversation, is shocked to learn that Hayakutaru doesn't know Juzu's location. Elsewhere, Kei informs Juzu about Hayakutaru's switch, expressing satisfaction with the unfolding event. Yuichi questions Hayakutaru about their captain's whereabouts, but Hayakutaru explains that they were redirected to the food station due to Group C's actions. Yuichi realizes Kei's leadership and confronts him, acknowledging his underestimation of Group C. Kei credits their victory to acquiring the time bomb that is Hayakutaru. As tensions escalate, Maria contemplates the unfolding chaos. Yuichi's plan to hide Hayakutaru to buy more time fails when Chisato and Banri arrive, declaring it too late. The next morning, Maria, feeling increasingly bored, encounters Kei, who deduces her unique status as a player from the management. Kei proposes that Maria betray Yuichi, emphasizing the entertainment value. Maria finds the prospect intriguing, and Kei suggests that she will have more fun with him. Maria contacts Yuichi, asking about nearby individuals. Yuichi, unaware of her betrayal, provides information. Unbeknownst to Yuichi, Maria returns to Kei, signaling her betrayal. Yuichi, realizing he has been deceived, despairs, and Kei plans to commence the search for Tenji. As darkness falls, Kei calls Tenji, urging him to sever ties with Yuichi. As the tension rises, Manabu announces the end of the game, instructing all participants, including the hider, to gather at the food station. Tenji, surprised by their loss, is informed by Kei that they targeted the wrong opponents due to Kei's strategic brilliance. Juzu, triumphant after landing a punch on Yuichi, asserts his dominance as he stands over him. Manabu declares Group C as the victors of the third game. Friendly hide and seek, emphasizing their success in locating the enemy hider. Despite Kei's surprise, he acknowledges that finding the hider isn't the sole criterion for triumph. A surprising turn occurs when Juzu, who is initially resistant to giving up, apologizes to everyone. In an earlier moment, Yuichi, taken aback by the unfolding events, initially expresses a desire to continue the game. However, upon realizing that Hyakutaru's team switch ensured Group C's victory, Yuichi shifts his focus. With determination, he calls out to Juzu, urging him to press the give-up button. When Juzu refuses, Yuichi resorts to violence, landing a punch on Hyakutaru. Kei observes the situation, noting Hyakutaru's silence during the assault. Ryuko, witnessing Yuichi's actions, characterizes him as a devil rather than a monster. Yuichi, determined to disrupt Hyakutaru's basketball skills permanently, threatens to break his finger and follows through despite Juzu's objection. Kei, unimpressed, points out flaws in Yuichi's strategy. Post-game, Yuichi reveals an undisclosed debt within Group K, initially suspecting Kei. Yuichi realizes that Juzu bears the debt, and Kei promised to help him on the condition of obedience. Juzu apologizes, admitting fault, leading to escalating tension between him and Yuichi, eventually culminating in a physical altercation. However, the situation takes an unexpected turn when Hyakutaru reveals that Yuichi broke his own finger as part of a deal to allow Juzu to hit him. Despite Kei's disappointment, Banri intervenes, declaring Kei's defeat due to unforeseen circumstances. Maria questions if Yuichi recognized her as a member of the management, and Yuichi explains his calculated actions, manipulating perceptions. Despite the revelations, Tenji believes Yuichi isn't entirely reprehensible. Released temporarily before the fourth game, Yuichi and Tenji return to school, encountering Yutori. She reveals Shiho and Makoto's disappearance, recounting the events leading to their departure. The revelation of Shiho's secret theft of trip funds, subsequent bullying, and Makoto's involvement in the Tomodachi game unfold, unveiling the tragic aftermath of Makoto's father's murder. Yuichi and Tenji contemplate their next steps, with Yutori providing more details about Shiho's predicament. Yutori explains that Shiho disappeared after being accused of stealing funds and implicated in the game's secrets. As Yuichi and Tenji ponder the situation, Yutori's willingness to share information prompts Yuichi to dismiss her involvement, considering her a burden. Later, Manabu announces a special Tomodachi game involving a weak win game, where pain reveals weakness, setting the stage for a different and perilous game. Yuichi finds himself at the predetermined location, unwittingly stepping into the ominous stage set for a macabre game orchestrated by Kuroki, masquerading cunningly as Manabu. In this disturbing iteration of Tomodachi game, Yutori and Yuichi become involuntary protagonists, ensnared in Kuroki's sadistic spectacle. Unyielding in his grip on Yutori, Kuroki's demeanor morphs into a malevolent force as he heartlessly cuts open her shirt, brandishing the threat of exposing Yuichi's closely guarded secrets. The atmosphere grows palpably tense as Kuroki, reveling in his self-appointed role as the malevolent master of ceremonies, unveils the rules of the weak win game, a series of torturous challenges crafted to test the participants' endurance and loyalty. The unfolding scene sets the stage for a sinister game of psychological manipulation and high-stakes suspense. Undeterred by escalating threats, Yuichi pleads with Kuroki to release Yutori. However, Kuroki, embodying sadistic malevolence, dismisses any pleas for mercy, savoring his newfound role as the puppet master of their suffering. The first round unfolds with Goriki-kun delivering 3 forceful punches. Yutori stands at a crossroads, faced with the choice of enduring a single, milder strike or allowing Yuichi to bear the brunt of 3. In the tense countdown that follows, Yutori hesitates, torn by uncertainty. Unable to vocalize his thoughts, Yuichi communicates with a stomp on the ground, signaling Yutori not to choose herself. In a courageous act, she opts to spare Yuichi, who stoically absorbs the barrage of 3 punches, his unwavering resolve undiminished. The second round brings forth a new form of torment, the removal of nails. Kuroki, reveling in the cruelty of the game, presents Yutori with a choice: endure a lesser pain or subject Yuichi to a more severe one. Determined to shield Yutori from further harm, Yuichi intervenes, instructing Kuroki to proceed. Yutori winces in pain as Kuroki callously removes 3 of her nails, each moment etching a painful memory. Amidst the ongoing torment, Yuichi can't conceal his disdain for Kuroki. He questions the supposed qualities that render Kuroki a leader: intelligence, courage, and loyalty. However, Kuroki remains unyielding, asserting his dominance with a twisted sense of pride. As the perverse game escalates to new heights of cruelty, Kuroki introduces a chilling variant for the next round. Yutori must endure nudity if she chooses herself, or Yuichi will inflict self-harm if she chooses him. Caught between emotional and physical agony, Yutori turns to Yuichi for guidance. In a profound act of selflessness, Yuichi decides to bear the pain himself, enduring 3 self-inflicted wounds to spare Yutori. As the torment concludes, a battered and enraged Yuichi directs his anger towards Kuroki, making it explicitly clear that Yutori, who suffered alongside him, bears no responsibility. After tending to Yuichi's wounds, he presents Yutori with the option to leave. However, demonstrating newfound courage, Yutori chooses to stand resolutely by his side. At this crucial moment, the real Tomodachi game management, led by than ever. Despite Kuroki's initial reluctance, he underestimates Yuichi's cunning and accepts the challenge. The game unfolds, revealing Yuichi's strategic brilliance as he effortlessly outsmarts Kuroki at every turn. As Tsukino escorts Kuroki away, she delivers a stark revelation about the true cost of his actions. The game not only exposes Kuroki's lack of intelligence, courage, and loyalty but also severs his connections with his own cohorts. In a single stroke, Yuichi dismantles Kuroki's illusion of leadership. The aftermath showcases Yuichi's resilience and unwavering commitment to truth and justice, surrounded by friends rallying behind him. The story concludes with a tantalizing teaser for the next game, Friendship Guilt Court, setting the stage for the continuing saga of Tomodachi game. Thanks a lot for sticking to the end. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more recaps, then make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.